The race for the White House is heating up in the U.S. President Joe Biden addressed the country in his State of Union speech. It's a neck-and-neck fight in the U.S. between President Joe Biden and former U.S. President Donald Trump. Now with Nikki Haley withdrawing her campaign and making way for Donald Trump. Addressing at the State of Union speech, Joe Biden slammed Donald Trump and launched a series of direct attacks on him. President Biden called out Trump's remarks about Vladimir Putin, saying that his predecessor is bowing down to a Russian leader. He also attacked Trump over the January 6th Capitol attack and called it the darkest days, one of the darkest days in U.S.'s history. Biden said that Trump had jeopardized freedom in the U.S. and other countries. Trump earlier gave his rebuttal to U.S. President Joe Biden's State of Union address, blaming Biden for what he called a horror show of illegal migration to the country. The former president called Biden feeble and said that radicals left Marxist, fascist, communist and socialist were in power.
A former Republican president tells Putin, quote, "Do whatever the hell you want." That's a quote. A former president actually said that, bowing down to a Russian leader. I think it's outrageous, it's dangerous, and it's unacceptable. America is a founding member of NATO, the military alliance of democratic nations, created after World War II to prevent war and keep the peace. And today, we've made NATO stronger than ever. We welcomed Finland to the alliance last year.
Under my leadership, there was no inflation. We had the greatest economy in the history of the world. It's time to tell crooked Joe Biden, you're fired. Joe Biden is on the run from his record and lying like crazy to try and escape accountability for the horrific devastation he and his party have created. All the while, they continue the very policies that are causing this horror show to go. We cannot take it any longer as a country. Joe Biden's sad excuse for a State of the Union address aside, here are the facts. When I left office, we gave Joe Biden the most secure border in U.S. history. We gave him remain in Mexico, very tough to get, but I got it. Safe third agreements, the asylum ban, Title 42, 571 miles of border wall, rapid deportations, and much more. We had the safest border in the history of our country. As soon as he got in, Crooked Joe and his radical left lunatics deliberately dismantled each and every one of those policies that were so good, that gave us this best border.
As our Foreign Affairs editor, Geeta Mohan, is getting us more details on that story. This morning, it does appear that the stage is set once again, Geeta, for a face-off, really a fight between Biden and between Trump this time around.
Well, that's absolutely true, Sneha. The State of the Union address this year focused so much on domestic and taking on the Republicans, particularly President Trump. The most number of mentions of the January 6th Capitol Hill attack, the insurrection by President Biden than any of his past addresses. Also, the fact that he mentioned the health crisis and the health cover, reiterated Obamacare and the plans of his administration, spoke about Roe versus Wade, an abortion right for women that was overturned, and has pledged that he will bring it back should he come to power. So a lot of focus on domestic policies, but also foreign policy, where he weighed in on Russia and Putin, saying that U.S. is never going to bow down to Russia. But it was about 45 minutes into his speech that he actually then mentioned the Israel-Hamas war, with focus on how Hamas needs to be eliminated, siding and supporting Israel, but also mentioning the fact that there cannot be so much of loss of civilian lives in Gaza, and that it is incumbent upon the Israeli leadership to ensure that there is no more loss of life, and that there is a ceasefire and humanitarian aid is allowed to reach the reach Gazans. But if you go down to what the speech really means, it is beginning of a Trump versus Biden race to November, given that Trump now is the front runner and is going to be declared nominee for the Republicans in the presidential race.
All right. Geeta, I'm going to thank you for the moment for getting us those details.